Hi everyone, I'm Benjamin Yang. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. For those of you who are new to this channel, I make videos based on my experience as a biology tutor. And I hope that my videos will help you whether you're a current student, soon to be, or if you're here just for the fun of it. Without further delay, let's get on with today's video. Today, I'm going to talk about the number one problem that bio students face when they tackle exam questions. In my video, I'm going to tell you what this problem is, and I'm going to show you some student examples to illustrate my point. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips for you to implement so that you can avoid this problem. And with that, let's dive right in. Many students think biology is a subject of rote memory. Force everything in and you'll be on your way to getting that A. So at the end of the day, whomever has the biggest memory muscle will nab that A, right? Right? Of course not! Especially when you're taking biology exams at higher levels, it's not only about memory work. But just as important, if not more important, is the way you present your answers in a coherent manner. And this is the most common problem I see in bio students. A lot of students know their stuff, but they cannot present their knowledge as if their life depends on it. Remember, if the examiners do not understand what you are talking about, then you are not getting the marks. What makes this problem even worse is that school teachers do not take time to address this, further compounding the problem. Consequently, many teachers ignore the statements the students make and instead focus on finding keywords to mark. Eventually, biology becomes a subject where students squeeze in as many keywords as they possibly can. Who cares if what they write is even coherent? To test if what I said was true, one of my students decided to write rubbish together with some keywords in his prelim exams. Something along the lines of what you're seeing on screen right now. And guess what? His school teacher marked it correct. In fact, in some cases, the school teachers don't even spend effort marking the assignments they give out. In yet another example told to me by my student, a classmate of hers submitted an econs assignment by mistake instead of a bio assignment, and the teacher returned it back with a scene comment. If your school teacher do not care, then what can you do to improve your communication skills, especially for those of you who are sitting for standardized formal exams like the A-levels? Hold on to your horses and I'll give you 3 things you can implement later. But before that, I'll give you an example of how an idea is wrongly communicated and which will likely make no sense for the examiners. Let's look at the question that is asked and the accompanying answer. There are many problematic elements here. But let's focus on the presentation of the answers to illustrate my point. Let me highlight this portion out for you. First, even before splicing, the strand is already continuous. This is a result of phosphodiester bonds formed by the RNA polymerase. What the student meant to say is that splicing results in uninterrupted and sequential alignment of the exons. I hope all of you can see the difference before and after, and also appreciate why it is important to present your answers coherently. Now, let's proceed to talk about the 3 tips I suggest you implement to increase your skills to tackle this problem. The first tip is going to be surprising and an enjoyable tip to implement, which is to tune in frequently to comedians or speakers who are funny. This is because they frequently use nuances in the English language in order to make jokes. And you have to catch it in order to find it funny. The more sensitive you are will translate into better communication skills. And this is especially important for us Asians, because English is most likely not our native language. And in Singapore, we speak more Singlish. This is a grammatically broken form of colloquialized English, which further contributes to our language handicap. I'll put a link in the video description below so that you can refer to one such funny video. And with that, let's move to the next tip. Often, when answering bio questions, students and even some teachers are not sensitive to the question type. If the question is asking you for a reason and you go on to list steps, not only are you not answering the question, but you will leave your examiner perplexed at what you're trying to say. Let me illustrate my point using the example that I've listed earlier. Notice the question is asking why there is a need for pre-mRNA processing, and take 10 seconds to read the answer provided in full. This answer focuses on the steps for pre-mRNA processing and makes no mention of any reasons at all. Consequently, the entire answer is out of point. So, what do? Before you start, take a few seconds to identify the question type as well as the requirements. Once you are sure, only then do you proceed. I come up with a checklist to help my students identify the question types as well as the associated strategies. You should come up with something like that for yourself too. And with that, let's move on to the final tip. The final tip is to dedicate time to work on the first 2 tips. When you learn a new concept or skill, you are lucky if your brain registers even half, if any of it. Why you can't immediately reproduce what you have learned is because this process requires the neurons in your brain to make new connections, so that the next time you require this connection that will give you the exam answer, the neuron will fire up and you can respond appropriately. Many people expect these connections to auto-magically appear overnight. This is not the case, and if not, you will have to work on it again and again and again until you finally get it. Which is why you need time to develop the communication skills in order to write that beautiful answer come exam time. Unfortunately, there are no magic bullets. And with that, I've given you 3 tips for you to implement so that you can move closer towards your performance target for biology papers. Let me know if you like my tips by pressing the like button below in the most eloquent way possible. You can do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature to you. If you'd like to receive notifications of videos where I talk about exam strategies, please subscribe to my channel below. And with that, you've been awesome, and I'm Benjamin Yang. See you in the next video.